Hey guys, today's going to be pretty chill. I'm reading this article about Venus and Pisces and some of the aspects it's going to be making to Jupiter, conjunct with Saturn when it sextiles Uranus. And then, of course, the North Node being involved in all of this. I believe that it's a very important story that's happening for all of us in the sky. That's why I wanted to record this. You guys can learn with me. So right now I am on moonomens.com. I really like this article about Venus in Pisces. Cultivating a relationship with the divine. Venus in Pisces is like, it amplifies a sense of longing within us, especially those that have it natally, right? That's a blessing and a curse, by the way. Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to have Venus in Pisces, but at the same time, it's, you tend to have a hard time like holding your boundaries and not being taken advantage of, and being disillusioned and stuff, which I most definitely struggled with in my earlier years for sure. But once you mature that energy, you can get the full benefit of it. It's a transit that will help to open your heart to deep soul centered connections. It also reminds us of the risk of getting swept away by idealism and fantasy. During the time, it may feel tempting to give all of ourselves to others, to give everything away, sacrificing ourselves and our needs in the process. This is a time when boundaries become especially important. Without them, we may find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, taken advantage of, or disillusioned. It is essential to recognize when we are seeking validation of or fulfillment outside of ourselves, or unconsciously expect our relationships to fill an inner existential void. Yeah, and it's my personal story about this is definitely goes in line with that. In my earlier years, not I was not secure at all whatsoever. I was working through my own traumas, but then just like I wouldn't even say I was working through them at all. I think that I was just living unconsciously. And this is like throughout my teens and my early 20s. And I've always had this inner knowing that life was deeper and there was a spiritual side to life. I always knew that for sure. But I didn't know how to touch into the depth of my own soul. And that didn't actually start happening until after I had kids, really. But more so after I had my second child, Ranger. A lot of things happen in our lives, right? We all have our ups and downs. We have our stories of defeat and triumph, trials and tribulations. But it's in the search for that depth and for our own soul, essentially. In the end, it's not really a search for something outside of you. It is the search for yourself. But in order to search for yourself, you have to have the help of others to get there. And some people teach us hard lessons to get to that point. Some people stay in your life and help you through the process while others are just visiting. I guess my dad was the first one, right? He was just visiting. So I suppose I have had that experience. That was probably my first experience. But as we get older, we recognize that everyone has their own story. And it doesn't make it any easier. No one has an easier life than someone else. They just have different trials that they have to endure and learn. Because I personally believe that we come here with, this is what I think. I guess I don't know for sure, right? We never know for sure. But the thing that makes most sense to me is that we reincarnate and we learn different lessons throughout our lives. And before we come down here, we sign a contract. And in those contracts, sometimes we meet the same people from other lives that choose to sign a specific contract lesson to help us with in the next life. That's why they talk about past lives and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, but I kind of ranted on a little bit. But what I was trying to say is that we can easily fall into the victimhood. We can easily fall into that trap where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one that's going through all this tragedy and pain and suffering. And how come this is happening to me? Why me? But that's so untrue. Everyone's going through something. And Venus in Pisces, her energy is almost like a saving grace to help us find that unconditional love, that compassion for each other, to push forwards, even if we don't know what's coming next. It's like really being able to go with the flow and not have to have the expectation of it's going to happen exactly this way. And that's where unconditional love comes from, where there's no expectation there and it's just love, and that's it. That's the most important part of it, is that love is there come what may. Now this is kind of off topic, but in a way, like if I were to pick some movies to represent Venus and Pisces, I would think of The Notebook, you know, that mushy gushy romantic novel by, I think it was Nicholas Spark or Stark or something. It was really popular and they made a movie about it, and what's his face is in it. He's really hot and I can't remember his name. Ryan Gosling, yeah. And then Moulin Rouge, actually. Moulin Rouge was a musical, and it's probably the only musical movie that I ever actually liked, because I don't like, sorry, but I don't like musicals. I just don't, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there that love musicals. I don't like them. No. But Moulin Rouge, I do like that. That movie came out, I think, around like 2004 or something. But the story behind it, it was showing like this undying love, and there was no judgments there. And I'm not going to spoil the movie. If you want to go see it, go see it. It's beautiful. Like the imagery, it's just breathtaking. So it's really about that idealistic, fantastical dream. And I guess another one would be, I would say Venus and Pisces, or Venus and Scorpio is Moulin Rouge. Yeah. Yes. Well, there's another Venus and Pisces one. I always think of mermaids with Venus and Pisces. Not sirens, mermaids. Sirens are more like, I won't compare that to any sign. I was going to say Venus and Scorpio, but no, that's not true. It just depends. Well, I guess we can say that more so towards Lilith placements. But yeah, those are the movies, I would say. Things that are beautiful, that have like a deeper story to it. Oh my gosh, Venus and Pisces is like eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. Oh my God. Okay, I need to stop. No more, no more. Yeah, that movie, I can't. I love that movie so much. It is such, I cry every time. Oh my gosh, no, wait, Wally. Wally's another one, and don't make fun of me. I do cry to that one too. I don't care. It's, yeah. Aspects with Venus throughout the year. January 14th, Venus in Pisces squares Jupiter in Gemini. And I think I mentioned that in the Venus video that I made. This aspect reflects a surge in our desire to expand our social circles, connect with new people, enjoy life, savoring each moment. The Venus Jupiter square highlights the risks of excessive generosity, though. So you need to be careful with overgiving, overindulging, overpromising. It invites us to make sure we set appropriate boundaries both with others and with our own selves. In the signs of Gemini and Pisces, this square underlines the conflict between our desire to understand how something works, which is Gemini, right? And the need to be comfortable with not knowing, not understanding, and not linear learning processes, which is the Venus in Pisces that brings in all of that. On January 18th, Venus crosses Saturn. So Saturn's been in Pisces, right? The Venus-Saturn conjunction reflects an increase in our desire to strengthen our commitment to the relationships that we value, consolidate connections that we desire to maintain, and build stronger foundations for our future. So this is a time right now, actually throughout the rest of January, I would say, think to yourselves the relationships that you want to keep in your life and really think on it. Take it serious. What relationships do I want to keep with me that I want to continue to nurture? And which ones do I not want to nurture anymore that I think I can do without? Be very cautious about who you're picking, though, of course, as well. And make sure you guys are on the same page. Talking about your priorities with the people in your life. It doesn't have to be romantic, but a lot of times this does involve romantic partners. And friendships too, though, because sometimes there's some friendships or random people that, even though it's not like you don't like them, but you don't really need to put your energy there. So it's kind of, you don't want to spread yourself out too thin, and you just want to keep things simple, especially throughout this next 18 months. This alignment with Saturn and Venus can inspire many of us to make important financial decisions and focusing on managing our assets, our investments, and our resources. The Venus-Saturn conjunction will remind us to take full responsibility for our choices and offer us an opportunity to gain awareness of how we still need to mature. So it will also point out to us the things that we really need to work on throughout this year to get to where we want to be. The sextile between Venus in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus, exact on January 26th, the day before my birthday, will inspire us to open our minds and our hearts to new possibilities, unfamiliar territories, and unconventional desires. What does that necessarily mean, I wonder? What do you guys think that means? Because yes, Uranus is known for the unpredictable, sudden things that change or happen in our lives. So in that context, what could that bring to us? And is it something that could shake things up between the connection with Saturn and Pisces, which Saturn in Venus and Pisces value stability, simplicity, being dedicated. But if we throw Uranus into the mix, which, by the way, Uranus is retrograde right now. It's been retrograde ever since September 1st of 2024. It's going to go direct again on right after the new moon, actually. I think it's going to be on January 30th. So retrograde means it's been slower, right? Or almost kind of going backwards in a way, so kind of stagnating. But once it goes forward and stations forward, who knows what could happen. obviously, it doesn't matter either way. There's nothing to fear, okay? There shouldn't be anything for you to fear when it comes to Uranus. Because if you are solid in who you are and you are confident in your standing with yourself and with others, there should be no issues or worries. And that's why it's super important to make sure that you think about who you want to keep around you or in your life. So, yeah, this aspect with Uranus and Taurus on the 26th will support our willingness to explore alternative ways to relate and unusual sources of income while encouraging us to welcome change and new perspectives. So, since it's in Taurus, a lot of times they say it's going to go towards like Taurian themes, which is of our resources, like it was saying, resources, our financial things, and our homes and all that. So, knowing how to make ends meet in regards to your resources and all that. So Venus is going to be conjuncting Neptune. Yeah, because Neptune has been in Pisces ever since 2012. So it's been there for a while. And it's finally going to move out of Pisces into Aries. I think it's going to go in there for like a little bit, like a couple months, and then it's going to go back into Pisces. But at least we get to get a little glimpse of what it will feel like and what it might bring when it goes into Aries for a little bit. But February 1st and February 2nd, Venus crosses Neptune and the North Node in the late degrees of Pisces. This configuration indicates a strong pull toward the ethereal, the spiritual, the transcendental, as well as opportunities to experience deep compassion, forgiveness, and love. Neptune and Pisces prominence can blur the lines between reality and fantasy. For this reason, it is important to stay grounded and avoid falling in love with ideals and over-romanticizing relationships or situations. The North Node's involvement adds a karmic layer to our experiences, and around this time, there will indeed be a sense of fate at play. We will have chances to move forward or move toward our true purpose and align with relationships and experiences that support our long-term growth. Even if we find it hard to see the full picture yet, the universe may direct us toward a path that feels destined for us and show us the direction we are meant to follow. During these days, we will have chances to deepen our connection to our intuition and our capacity to listen to the whispers of our hearts. This configuration encourages us to trust life's unfolding, even when it makes no logical sense. As Venus dances through Pisces, and especially when she meets Neptune and the North Node, the invitation for us is to find harmony between following our dreams and orienting to higher ideals and values, and acknowledging the reality of the world of form and the present moment. So, yeah. Yep. So that'll be interesting, wouldn't it? Now I'd like to actually, oh, look, it's the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is Pisces. Wait, no, it's Gemini and Cancer. But I always think the Queen of Cups is like Venus and Pisces, right? I don't know. I wonder what tarot card Venus and Pisces would be. Maybe it's a combo. I would assume it'd be like a mixture of like a card that has Libra and Pisces in it, because Libra rules over Venus. Or, yeah, I think Libra and Pisces. Because even though Venus is exalted in Pisces, the traditional ruler of Venus is Libra. Or Libra and Taurus. But Libra is more aligned with Piscean, like airy and like fun and romantic and all that kind of stuff. So that's why, like, most likely anybody who encounters someone who, like, if a Venus and Pisces individual meets or gets together with someone who has like their Venus in Libra, it would probably work out very well. But at the same time, they would probably both be like self-sacrificing to each other. So yeah. I'm just going to pull a card though, because I feel called to do so. So this is also what Venus and Pisces can be like. This very card right here, and it is the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is actually the third decan of Scorpio, and it represents a lot of options, right? But it's fantasy, illusion, wishful thinking, choices, imagination. And you could use that towards creativity, towards creating like some majestic piece of art or a poem or a story. But you'd have to be cautious about getting pulled into the depths of these and losing touch with reality. Then we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the card of Pisces, actually. So that goes together perfectly. It's the major arcana. Intuition, higher powers, mystery, subconscious mind. Yeah. I think that's all I'm going to pull because it was just too perfect. It just worked out perfectly. But that's what it is today. I'm not going to go any further, but thanks for spending some time with me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.